Right, welcome back. This time we're looking at how buildings sit on, in and around the terrain. Select a building and you'll see the gimbal on top of it. That's the move handle with X, Y and Z axis. Drag the Z arrow up and Spacio raises the building above ground. Foundation walls appear underneath. Drag it down past 0 and the building cuts into the ground. Same gimbal, two different stories about the site. Spacio gives you a way to see this clearly. In the display mode, switch to light and dark. And the building shows you which floors are above ground in light, which are below in dark. Useful for any project on a slope, where the basement on one side is the ground floor on the other. Same numbers, totaled up, are in the statistics panel under light and dark areas, square meters of each, project-wide. But buildings can interact with the terrain in 3 different ways, and you choose which. Select the building, open its properties, and switch to the Terrain tab. Inside the Terrain Interactions panel, 3 modes. Detached, what we just saw, where the building sits independently. Snap to Terrain, and Modify Terrain. Let's run through the other 2. Snap to Terrain first. Click it, and the building immediately repositions. Its base sits flush on the ground, wherever the terrain takes it. From here, the building behaves like a magnet to the surface. Drag it up, and it falls back down to the terrain. Drag it down, and it springs back up. You can move it horizontally across the site, but the elevation is locked to wherever the ground is. Useful when you want the building to follow the slope without thinking about it. Third mode. Modify Terrain. Watch the first floor and the ground right around it. Click Modify Terrain, and Spacio levels the terrain around the building's footprint. The first floor now sits perfectly flush with the new ground line. The building hasn't moved. The terrain came up, or down, to meet it. You'll see pink handles around the building too. Same idea as the setback handles you used on plots. These ones control the fall-off distance, how far out from the building's footprint the terrain should follow the modification. Drag them in close to the building, and only a thin band right at the foundation gets flattened. Drag them further out, and you get a wider apron of leveled ground around the building. The transition between modified terrain and the natural slope happens inside that pink handle perimeter. Now watch what happens when I lift the building. I'll drag it up by 5 meters. The terrain follows the building, rising with it inside the pink handle area. Beyond that perimeter, the natural ground stays put, so you get a smooth ramp from the original slope up to the building's new platform, and drag the building below its original elevation. And the same thing happens in reverse. Spacio carves the ground down inside the fall-off area to match. The natural slope outside stays alone. If you ever lose track of where things ought to be, the Smart Actions panel has 2 reset commands. Project to original terrain, back to where the ground started. Or project to current elevation, if you have modified the terrain yourself. Spacio also has a display mode dedicated to this, Terrain mode, showing cut and fill. Click it, and the model recolors. Green is fill, the soil you'd need to bring to site to raise the ground. Red is cut, where ground has been removed. Together they give you an immediate read of how much earthwork the building's footprint will demand from the contractor. And the totals, green and red, in cubic meters, sit in the statistics panel under the Terrain tab. Useful for early-stage cost conversations. Start designing for free at spacio.ai. See you in the next one.